Yo, what is good, guys? It's your boy Miklik. Welcome back to another Haikyu 5 video. And in this video, I'll be showcasing Korai and Hirugami, the main units that a lot of people are going for, and also because they're viable in literally any team. So showcasing them will give a lot of insight before they come out. And before I get started with the vid, I do want to say tomorrow, Friday, I'm streaming at 1 p.m. AST, and I will be doing 1,100 pulls on SP Oikawa. Yes, it will be that much memories, and maybe you want to tune in to watch the summoning and also gameplay, because I will be showing gameplay in the stream, and maybe you want to fuck around and find out what exactly SP Oikawa does, because I will be doing certain tests on them that my friends want me to do, and just 1,100 pulls is crazy in general, so if you want to see it, stay tuned for tomorrow. Join my Discord. I have a universal time thing and everything. And this is Japan server, so similar to Taiwan and Japan, we are going to be doing no position limit, and the reason I'm mentioning no position limit is because, as I think most of us know already, unless you don't, I'll do a quick overview. It doesn't really rely on the setter anymore. It relies on the type of your players. So for example, Korai is probably the crucial part of a unit that you should get. So you could literally stick with Korai, which is going to be crazy viable because he has 3 slots he can fit into, since he is literally an all-rounder. So you go straight into the power stack, you go straight into the block type, you go straight into the receive type. He goes crazy. He has like an all-rounder effect that gives him boosts, and the bond with Hirugami will also go crazy with the boost. So he's just a very viable in general. Obviously, Hirugami is crazy good, especially since we're technically, what is it, early to mid game? I don't know, but we don't have no position limits, so he's always going to be good, and still going to be using no position limit anyways. But either way, he's only stuck into one archetype, which is block. Obviously, not a big of a deal, but if you take a look at it, Kuro also fits into the receive category. Tsukushima fits into the quick attack category, so you can see that a lot of middle blockers already have 2 archetypes. Wow, Hirugami only has 1. Doesn't make him bad, but he just has less input to other teams, but he's still going to be usable anyway, so me saying this doesn't matter as much. This is the no position limit thing that we're going to be talking about, and I'll just be using this since it's my friend's team, and I mean, he has a lot of SPs anyway, so I'll be going crazy with this team. To give a quick overview, Hirugami and Korai have a bond. If you check his bonds right here, you can see right here that, you know, it obviously states the bond. And essentially the bond allows all the block of the front row is now increased. And Korai starts off with a stack of all-rounder effect. And Hirugami starts with a stack of strong block effect. So these bonds already contribute a lot to the skills, essentially since the block increases to the front line allies. So it's just very crucial in general. But either way, the stacks that they get from the bond is good because Hirugami's strong block effect, his skill 3, he starts off with a strong block effect, but it doesn't do anything until you reach 2 stacks of strong block effect. But as you can tell with the bond with Korai, he will instantly start off with the 2 strong block effects, and his block power get increased. So essentially, whenever an ally player blocks, the 2 stacks of the strong block effect that he has because of the bond and due to his skill 3, it will now give an increase to block power based off of the blocking member's block. So having those 2 stacks will start you strong already. And keep in mind, this is a whale account, so you're gonna see a lot of max duped or just like duped out characters in general. So I'll leave a website in the description and comment section if you want to check out every single one of their skill reses. So essentially, to literally wrap it up quick, his skill reses depend entirely on what the opposing team does and what the team does. So it's technically an all-rounding thing because it's always going to have an increase due to the opposing team and your team doing something. He will get an increase in his main stats due to strong block effect that will be given to him depending on if the ally scores or not. So it essentially changes the momentum of how he works, and also depending on the team and what they do, they will decrease his block ultimate, which is very handy. And honestly, you guys just can read it up. It's real quick. It's essentially what I was saying. It depends on the team and what the opposing team does, but either way, the dupes are good nonetheless. If you were to say how many dupes would you need, because I know this is a whale count, you could honestly just stop at 2 dupes and then that's about it. You don't need the 4th dupe unless you're a crazy whale, but that's just my opinion. For his memory, it increases his block by, I don't even remember, like 20% I think, and then whenever an ally scores, it also increases the block. Also, the memory is very specific to him because you need strong block effect, so you know you kind of just need to place it on Hirugami. Apart from that, his memory is only meant for himself, so if you're gonna get the Hirugami memory, obviously make sure you get Hirugami because it just pairs up perfectly with him due to the strong block effect. And once you get the strong block effect, the defense technique will increase by like 3.5% or something. But for his skill 1, essentially whenever he serves, he will increase awareness. Also, as long as he's on the court, if an ally blocks, they will get a system effect, and then it will increase their main stats, and it disappears whenever the ally scores. And when he's on the court, allies gain 1 stack of the system effect when blocking, and each stack of the system effect increases allies' main perimeters by 8%. And alongside the system effect, it also increases Hirugami's base stats by an additional 10%. So just like I said before, very team correlated, but that's what makes him the best. He's essentially a crazy buffer, he's a blocker, and also since it's a volleyball game, it's obviously going to be team correlated anyways, so he's just the best UR middle blocker anyways. His skill 2 is a float serve, and it's honestly pretty sick because if the enemy has Team Morale Awakening active and his serve is a nice play, it will essentially end the Team Morale Awakening for the opposing team, which is I don't know. I mean, that's technically game changing in a way because you just stop their team morale awakening completely. But either way, I found it very cool, and that could obviously change the outcome of the game because the stats won't be the same after the team morale awakening for the opposing team. And then I already talked about skill 3 because it's the strong block effect alongside other percentages. And then the block 4 is just his block ultimate. Heading on to Korai, I already talked about his main archetype of the blocking, no position limit thing. But either way, we'll head straight to his skill res because he only has skill res 2. Couldn't manage to get max dupe. But either way, his skill res 2, essentially the main component is his power and awareness is increased by 10% whenever an ally blocks or serves, and it's up to 5 stacks. So that's essentially the main component of his skill res 2. And his skill res 4 is just way better. Not that you need it, but essentially as long as he gets a nice play, his cooldown resets and he regains 10 stamina, I'm pretty sure. And it also increases the awareness and reflex by 85% depending on the total value of awareness and reflex. So it's just good nonetheless. Again, you don't need the skill res 4, but if you're a whale, you just might as well get the skill res 4 because, well, you're a whale. We're going to start off with Korai's skill 3 first because essentially his skill 3 with Korai Hirugami, the bomb will give him an extra all-rounder stack. So essentially that contributes to his skill 3 because his skill 3, depending on what move he uses, it will consume an all-rounder stack and it will just give it increase again depending on what move he uses. Like if he receives blocks or spikes, it will give him different type of buffs, and I don't want to do a deep dive into that because it will be an easy reading if I just leave the link in the description. But essentially depending on the move he uses will consume an all-rounder effect, and they'll give him a buff depending on the move he uses. And his skill 1 is actually a debuff to the opposing team spike, and it doesn't matter if it's a power or quick attack, it just does both. It will reduce it to a maximum of like 30%, so it's just pretty crazy. But obviously it depends on every 50 block of the opposing team, but either way he's still gonna get the debuff stacked anyways. And he uses the debuffs to his advantage because for every 1% decrease, the power of the next skill will be increased by 1%, and so on and so on. His skill 2 is essentially the overview of what I already did talking about Korai in general. It just gives him the ability to receive, block, jump, serve, literally the things he needs as an all-rounder. So that's why just a very quick overview. And his skill 4 is his ultimate spike, and essentially if he's in the front line and spikes, the power of his spike will increase. And that's literally about it for his skills. Obviously there's more in depth to go into it, but I don't feel like going crazy all over his skills because you guys know how to read, and you guys just go into the link in the description or in the comment section and you guys can find out fully what his skill does. And his memory could be used by literally any other wing spiker because it increases the attack and defense technique, and also depending on the member's skill or ultimate, it will increase his main stats by 2% up to 10 stacks, and if it's a nice play, it will gain an extra stack. So it's just very good for all wing spikers, and if you want to get a Korai's memory, it's obviously worth it. Good for any wing spiker. You don't need to put it on Korai, it could be on anyone else. And I think that's about it for overview. I don't think it's important for me to go an overview on each unit here because it's not an SP video, just a Korai and Hirugami, and also there's no point in me talking about each unit right now because it's not going to come out yet. I'll do an individual guide for each one whenever I decide to do a gameplay on them, but I think you guys can get a gist on what they do just a little bit depending on the gameplay I show because they're all going to be used here. I'll also be using this team because if I show the first team, it's just going to be a complete domination between Kunami and Konagawa. So if I end up doing that, Korai and Hirugami aren't going to get a chance to spike or block at all. So that's why I have to interfere with this team so you could at least see some type of Korai and Hirugami gameplay. And the first gameplay you're going to see is Korai and Hirugami, and then the second gameplay you're going to see is all of them combined, which is just a crazy mix.
始まる始まるさあ来いそれじゃあお手本を見せようかさあはいはいよっしゃ来いやオッケーナイスブロックうまいことやったな一本ナイスつなげはいはい落ち着いてまずは一本切ってこうそれじゃあお手本を見せようかナイスレシーブさあ落ち着いてまずは一本切ってこ ナイスレシーブ。はいはい。
オーライ。もっとビビれよ、驚けよ。勝った。
オーライ。ナイスレシーブ。鉄壁の名に恥じないように。ドンマイ。ナイスキー。チー。消防。鉄壁の名に恥じないように。
ナイスさ。
オーライ。鉄壁の名に恥じないように。ドンマイ。
考えてるのは君だけじゃない。
鉄壁の名に恥じないように。ドンマイ。鉄壁の名に恥じないように。一本ナイスさー。鉄壁の名に恥じないように。ナイスキー。さあ来い。はい。鉄壁の名に恥じないように。うまいことやったな。
なんでこっちのミスを悔しがっとんねん。ナイスさ。考えてるのは君だけじゃない。
鉄壁の名に恥じないように。
罵れや。敗者に拍手なんかいらんねん。